turn it off?
No, it's okay. I can take it.
Canadian horror cinema is often perceived to be made up of obscure films that have a specialty towards dark and sexually transgressive themes. However, the Canadian horror genre is rich with intelligent and progressive films that equally deserve critical analysis. The horror genre is often seen as misogynistic and built on tropes, but Canadian horror films have continually approached progressive topics and even began the modern Hollywood horror conventions. Three prominent Canadian horror films that stand out over the decades are Black Christmas, Videodrome, and Ginger Snaps. By widely spanning the decades in horror genre, these films will prove that Canadian horror films address progressive and intelligent topics while being crucial to the development of the horror genre as a whole. Black Christmas, the often forgotten first incarnation of the slasher film. Black Christmas is the first film to establish the slasher genre conventions that are made famous in later films like John Carpenter's Halloween or Wes Craven's Scream. Black Christmas establishes the tropes of the camera looking through the killer's eyes and a sinister unknown phone caller.
It's him again! The Mona!
Hello?
Why don't you want to talk to me?
Who is this?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Even further, Black Christmas originates the trope that the calls are coming from inside the house.
Yes, the caller is in the house. The calls are coming from the house. Jess! Jess, get up! Leave me alone!
Jill, this is Sergeant Sacker. Listen to me. We've traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. Our squad car's on the way over there right now.
We traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. You hear me? It's coming from inside the house.
This trope is so well known it is often parodied in commercials and spoofs.
Doobie doobie doo.
That's the third one tonight.
It's okay. The police are tracing the call. Hello?
This is the police. Those calls are coming from inside the house. Repeat, those calls are coming from inside the house.
Doobie doo.
Drink Bud Ice.
The call's coming from inside the house! Look at his face! Look at his face!
However, unlike Halloween and Scream centering on a virginal final girl that connotes the message of promiscuity being punished, Black Christmas has a feminist subtext that focuses on a strong female lead. The main character, Jess, is anything but a virginal final girl. Jess is pregnant but plans to have an abortion despite her boyfriend Peter's demands to keep it. Jess chooses what happens to her body.
I'm gonna have an abortion.
You can't make a decision like that. You hadn't even asked me.
I wasn't even gonna tell you.
And in the end is rewarded through her survival, whereas Peter dies due to Jess thinking he is the killer, being inadvertently punished for attempting to control her. Black Christmas addresses abortion and women's rights in a positive light, despite being a horror film with violence against females. This controversial topic exemplifies how Canadian horror films tackle provocative topics while developing the horror genre and establishing conventions. Canadian horror films cannot be discussed without the analysis of the Canadian horror auteur, David Cronenberg. Cronenberg's Videodrome is an example of body horror, a subgenre of horror that Cronenberg helped to establish as a genre. Although Cronenberg's films like Videodrome can be seen as purely offensive and deeply sexist due to the imagery and portrayal of female characters, Cronenberg incorporates an artistic message about the parasocial relationship between humans and technology. Like the trend seen in Hollywood horror films, sexually charged females like Nikki Brand meet terrible fates. But despite the film's misogynistic and transgressive tendencies, Cronenberg examines intelligent topics such as the human negotiation between self and technology that resided with Canadians during the tax shelter years. This integration of philosophical discussions while establishing the body horror subgenre again proves that Canadian horror cinema is intelligent and crucial to the horror genre.
Long live the new flesh.
Ginger Snaps is a modern Canadian horror film that follows the monster genre, revolving around teen girls becoming werewolves. The film Ginger Snaps is a cult classic to fans and contains strong feminist messages as the two lead sisters are shown as independent girls who have a strong bond. The film also rebels against sexism and male fears revolving around periods by combining the curse of the werewolf with the onset of menstruation.
What? She's got the curse.
The The topics of menstruation, sex, and bodily transformations are rarely discussed in a positive or empowering light, yet Ginger Snaps approaches the topic without victimizing the female leads. While Black Christmas, Videodrome, and Ginger Snaps are all very different films, they cover the scope of the horror genre, as well as the evolution of horror films in Canada since the early 1970s. Canada has been essential to the development of the horror genre, and continues to approach progressive topics and dissect social fears. Canadian horror films have always influenced Hollywood horror, and it'll be interesting to see what the next subgenre of horror will look like.